Guys, it just gets worse, doesn't it? Absolute contempt for the British public. If you've not seen it already, in fact, guys, I'm going to show it you now. It's absolutely insane. The video of Angela Rayner dancing. Now, I know what you guys are going to think. She's allowed to go on holiday. She's allowed to have a good time and let her... Wow. Guys, can you imagine any other politician doing this? Can you imagine the outrage if, you know, Rishi Sunak, Nigel Farage was doing this? Anybody, you know, it seems just acceptable now that people can act in such, you know, and give the British public such contempt. And I'll come on to that why in a minute. I mean, honestly, guys, I don't want to be overcritical of her dance moves, but she kind of reminds me of that Australian at the Olympics. Absolute contempt for the British public. So can you imagine any more dystopian situations where, you know, we've got a country falling apart? You know, Keir Starmer's cancelled his holidays because, you know, he had to. And then, no, Keir, no, it's Angela here, Keir, what do you want? Oh, well, actually, we need you back to facilitate some... No, Keir, I'm Angela Rayner, man. I'm going for a right good party in Ibiza, man. I've got some VIP tickets. Guys, honestly, this sort of stuff just drives me absolutely insane. So we've got, you know, we've got winter fuel allowances being cut for the elderly. Elderly people who've been, you know, who've paid tax into our system. Elderly people who built this country. You know, elderly people whose shoulders we stand on. Guys, that should be on a t-shirt, guys. You know, we stand on the shoulders of our grandparents, and our grandparents built this country by the strength of their back and the sweat of their brow. And now we're cutting we're cutting winter fuel payments to them because, well, you guys tell me why we're cutting those winter fuel payments. It's absolutely absurd. And now, not only the winter fuel payments, guys, we've got Keir Starmer coming out there saying, you know, things are going to get tough. We're looking like tax on fuel, tax on utilities, higher taxes in literally every bracket. I've got my best friend coming up to me, really worried about what's coming in the future about these taxes because he's on that bracket where a little bit of extra money will send him into the higher bracket. In the backdrop of all of this, Angela Rayner decides to crack Ibiza and rub our noses in it. She's a 40-odd-year-old woman. This is not acceptable behaviour, in my opinion, of a 40-year-old woman. And guys, all this is my opinion, so if you don't like it, I don't care, really. I'm past caring now, guys, okay? I'm stopped trying to be political correct. You know, people say to me, oh, why are you always, you know, so critical of the Labour government? Look at the absolute contempt. Let me give you the Oxford definition of contempt. Contempt, the feeling that a person or a thing is worthless or beneath consideration. Guys, that's how they feel. That's how right, okay. If this isn't contempt, I don't know what is. You know, oh, those peasants who voted for me, yeah, they can't get me out for another 5 years. I'm going to Ibiza, I'm going to have a proper party. It's a proper party, guys. Honestly, this sort of stuff drives me absolutely insane. And it's not the people. You can't blame the people. It's the system. The whole system, the whole political class, how it's set up. You know, if you understood, and I'm not meaning to, you know, I'm not having contempt for anybody, but the whole, look at the system in America. You know, in the system in America, you can vote for a president. That president, for good or bad, he or she can come in and they can make changes, they can make executive orders, you know, and although the people in America probably don't think so, the president, you know, has a fair amount of power. In the United Kingdom, 4.5 million people voted for Nigel Farage. They didn't vote for individual councillors or candidates, sorry. They voted for Nigel Farage. What power does he have now? None. He's just one vote in a sea of, guys, I don't want to even get into it. So, and if it wasn't as bad with Angela, guys, I don't even know how I'm going to call this video on a thumbnail. So if it wasn't that bad with Angela Rayner, I also saw this article. Labour's Jess Phillips boasts she managed to skip the queue for NHS due to her stance on Gaza. Home Office the Home Office now. What hope do we have in the United Kingdom? What hope do we have in the United Kingdom at the moment? Because somebody please tell me in the comments what hope we have. Home Office Jess Phillips, guys, and again, Home Office Jess Phillips. I just can't believe how they're rubbing our noses in this. Home Office Jess Phillips appeared to make a stunning confession about being given preferential treatment during a recent accident emergency visit due to her support for a ceasefire in Gaza. Jess, who clung to her Birmingham Yardley seat by just 693 votes after facing an almighty challenge from George Galloway's pro-Palestine Workers' Party, used an event in North London to discuss the distressing episode. So, you know, from the article, she was in the queue for A&E treatment or something, and the doctor came out and he said, you know, I'm assuming it's a he. The doctor said that, well, let me read it. Also, the doctor who saw me was Palestinian. It turns out almost all the doctors in Birmingham seem to be. Guys, we have a situation in the United Kingdom at the moment that I see no end to it. Sure, we've got another election in 2029. If we have if we're not a republic by 2029, now. So my friend in Ukraine, I keep trying to get him on here as like a podcast guest. We have conversations, and so he's a really intelligent guy. He speaks 5 languages. He's got 2 degrees. Well, he's got several degrees, but he's got 2 master's degrees. And he's a really intelligent guy. He was a teenager when the Soviet Union fell and Ukraine was handed back to Ukraine gained its independence. We have long conversations. Now, one of the analogies I give him on liberals and conservatives, and it's kind of there's an American guy, I think, I can't remember his name. He gave a similar analogy. You can think of liberals and conservatives, or Labour and conservatives. You can think of them as foxes and wolves. Where a wolf will say, listen, guys, I'm a wolf. I need to eat meat. I need this much meat. And, that's going to be me. I'm going to be happy. I'll protect you. We'll look after you. And this is how we roll. Okay. You know where you stand. And again, I'll come on to the arguments after. Whereas liberals, they're the foxes. They'll whisper in your ear and they'll say, oh, we don't need anything. We'll be your friend and we'll look after you. And then, they're doing bad things behind people's backs and they're telling them that they're on their side. And that's my, again, my opinion, my speculation. That's how I describe in my words, liberals and conservatives. Now, you can, I get the argument that at the moment we just have a uniparty and there's no real difference between either side. And that's because we're in something called late stage democracy. I think I coined that term myself. But late stage, in the context that I've not heard anybody else talk about late stage democracy, you can do a search for it and nobody's talking about it. But with late stage democracy, like late stage capitalism, all your political parties and candidates have some sort of affiliations, sponsors, donations from another, from an interested party. So, for example, it may be the Labour Party, for example, trade unions. I mean, look at the trade unions at the moment, guys. You know, as I understand it, train drivers are now on 70 grand a year. I know people who've done 22 years in the military, and they're not on nowhere near 70 grand a year. So you've got two concepts here, two career paths. One of these career paths, he decided to, or she, joined the military at 16. You know, they accepted that at some point an occupational hazard would be, you know, being deleted, expiring. They've done career courses. They've increased their fitness knowledge. You know, they're in control of maybe 2, 3, 4, 600 men, you know, and they are a sergeant major, a colonel, whatever, you know. But let's go with the enlisted. You know, they get to the rank of sergeant major. 22 years, they leave. Thank you very much. Cool. You've got a train driver. What does a train driver do? Forwards, backwards, stop, open the doors. How is this fair? How is this fair? Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there, I think, because I think, did I miss a point? I don't know. I just wanted to get this out there, guys, about these. I'll put the links in the description. The total contempt that the Labour Party have now for the voters. It's actually funny. Guys, it's actually funny. You know, we should just accept it for what it is. We're heading towards totalitarian Britain. Let's all accept the crypto pound. Let's all start frog marching down to the, down to get our one loaf of bread, 1 tin of beans, 100 grams of bacon or whatever, because that's the way we are going in the United Kingdom. Guys, I make no apologies for any of my opinions because, quite frankly, I'm past caring anymore. Guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you guys soon, and I think we're going to start going live on this platform, but I need to build like another studio upstairs because the internet connection down here, it does keep jumping out, but luckily with this software I've got, if the internet connection drops, I can still record a video, and then, you know, I can upload it whenever. But obviously, if we're going live, we need that. You know, you need that. What did Theresa May say? Strong. We need that strong and stable internet connection, guys. Honestly, I can't believe every day something happens. Anyway, guys, I'm going to mag to grid. Hopefully, that'll be me for the day because we're going to have some Mexican pork shashlik on the barbecue, and that's it, guys. Speak to you guys soon. I'm going to mag to grid.